So today's the big day, folks. It's No King's Day here in America, and I just wanted to start off this video by saying wherever it is you go to protest today, make sure that you look out for yourself and be safe, and always peacefully protest. We are the side, we're the party of free speech, we're the party of the First Amendment, unlike the other side who will be bowing down to a king today, and it's pretty disgusting to sit back and watch. One thing I really wanted to talk about was the reactions that I'm seeing from people and how that it truly does boggle my mind that we made it here and we're at a point in American history where we actually have to say out loud, we don't have a king here. We don't have a dictator. We don't bow down to one man. It's crazy that we're actually having to say this out loud and make a day out of it. But what Donald Trump tried to do was make today all about him, because he is so weak and so fragile in his own skin, and he's got such a fragile ego that instead of just honoring the military today, he had to make it all about him, to flex and do his best Vladimir Putin impression. And it's one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen. But what's more disgusting to me than Trump being Trump is the people who at this point in the game either A, still hangs in there with him and hangs on every word and believes it. B would be the people, I saw these comments go by, well, I would rather have Trump as a king than a Democrat as a president. Those people. And then the people who are just absolutely clueless and don't have a clue what in the world's going on today. Like, well, are they protesting, huh? Are they protesting? Sometimes I envy that last group, I'll be honest with you. There's times where I say to myself, man, I kind of wished I was tuned out in a way. There's part of me that wishes I was just caught up in whatever I was caught up in and just going about my day and not knowing what's going on. But I've never been able to be that guy. I've never been able to be the dude that could look away while the whole world burned down. I could also never look away while people was okay with having a king. There's no way that I can sit back and not call bullshit on that. And funny story, I actually caught myself commenting from my personal profile on Facebook, which I never do. I never jump into the comment section. I never, reply to anyone or say anything. But there was so many comments that was out there on a limb, saying things like, I would rather have Trump as a king than a Democrat as a president, and saying things like, let's pray for Trump today, pray for his safety. You're praying for a dude that's a convicted felon, the dude that was found liable of sexual abuse, defamed the victim. You're praying for a dude who incited an insurrection on our nation's capital and tried to overturn an election because he wasn't man enough to admit he lost. You're talking about one of the most disgusting people that ever walked the planet, and that's who you're going to pray for his safety. And then all these local law enforcements and all these hillbilly good old boy sheriff's departments out here posted, if you protest around here, by God, we're going to come out there and bust your head. It's just some of the stupidest shit that I've ever seen. And again, Trump being Trump is always disgusting. Trump making the day about him is always disgusting. But he does that for every single day that we're supposed to do anything to honor anyone. On Memorial Day, he always makes a disgusting post. On the 4th of July, he always makes a disgusting post. Labor Day, he always makes a disgusting post. Veterans Day, he always makes a disgusting post. Mother's Day and Father's Day, he won't let that go. That he won't be like happy birthday or happy Father's Day to all the fathers, including the radical left lunatics who, that's the kind of person he is. And I expect him to be that piece of trash. But what's the most disheartening to me is seeing the people that is okay with it and the people that just completely turns a blind eye to it and acts like it's no big deal. What y'all protesting for? Huh? What's going on? I wish I could be that guy, but I can't. I can't not call this shit out because I grew up believing in what I was told this country was about. I'll put it that way. I was told that we were a land of immigrants, that people came here from all over the world to make a better way for themselves. I grew up, and my first memories is a Republican president saying, Mr. President, tear down that wall. So I grew up under that. Even though my family was Democrats, we didn't vote for Reagan, we still respected that sentiment that he was saying. We still respected that part. We didn't agree with him on a whole lot of things, but there we were in line with him on that one. And we were in line with Republican presidents as we went forward on immigration and how that we should tackle the problem and how that we should welcome people here because that was our strength. We may have disagreed with those Republican presidents on a whole lot of things, but when you had people like George W. Bush saying, they're part of our country, they have the same values as we do, they're part of our economy, they make this country stronger, we was in agreement right there. And I grew up believing in this country and what it was supposed to be about. And I studied the foundation of how we came here to get away from the church controlling the state, to get away from dictators and not to be ruled over by kings. And all down through history, we have fought these evil dictator regimes. And that's who we were, that's who we are. And somewhere or another, people became so enamored with Trump and so into him and bought this narrative that Democrats was the devil themselves, that they're okay today with him doing this. And there's nothing normal about this, and there's nothing American about him turning this day into a celebration of him and having military tanks roll down our streets. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'll just go ahead and put this out there, and I'll make a short video on this later. Y'all can wait for this one. If it rains him out tonight, I am making a video and saying that was the wrath of God. That was Jesus telling him there's only one king, and he got rained out. And I'm going to ask him this question. You won't believe me, will you? You won't believe that God spoke to me and said that was his wrath, will you? Why is it that people always believe these bigots? When a bigot says that God spoke to him, or a conspiracy theorist says that God spoke to him, people will believe them hook, line, and sinker. But if anybody else says it, oh no, that can't be right. Oh, Brando's just making a mockery out of things. No, what Donald Trump has done is make a mockery out of this country. He's made a mockery out of our Constitution, completely shredded it. He's made a mockery out of the Bible. He's made a mockery out of anything that we ever deemed sacred in this country. And I'll be goddamned if I'm going to sit back today and be quiet, but what y'all protesting for? No, I got both fingers on my ears, I'm pulling my head out of my ass, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing what's going on. And I'm going to call it out. And I don't care how popular it makes me or how unpopular it makes me around here. I truly do not give two flying fucks, folks. I really don't. I say so many times in my videos, and I don't think people understand it enough. This is the hill I'm willing to die on. Okay? I do not care. I don't care. I don't believe in an afterlife. I think when it's all over, the lights are going out. So I don't give a shit. What I want people to do, though, is when I'm dead and gone, I want people to say, you know what? That guy didn't fall for it. And if nothing else, I've always said, what I want my channel to be is something my grandkids and great-grandkids can look back on and say, our granddad did not believe in that bullshit and didn't fall for it. There's no way that I could set this day out. There's no way that I could try to normalize it. There's no way I could try to same wash it. There's no way I could just go about my day. And I'll tell you something, it gets stressful being over here. It gets stressful talking about this stuff every day. And I tell people every day, take care of your mental health, take care of yourself first and foremost. I tell people that every day. But it does get stressful over here. But I would much rather be over here than to be that guy just blindly walking through the streets today going, what are they doing over there? What's that about? I can't be that guy. I might envy him at times, but I can't be that guy. This country was never about dictators. We were never about kings, and we were never about worshiping politicians. And I will close with that. No matter where you fall on the political spectrum, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, progressive, conservative. I don't care if you're atheist or Christian, gay or straight. I don't care what you are in this world, okay? Worshiping politicians is just fucking weird, okay? I have voted for politicians. In my lifetime, I've had very few bumper stickers. I'm literally trying to think back. I had a John Kerry bumper sticker, believe it or not, that I put on a guitar case. I had a Bernie Sanders sticker that I put on a guitar case. And I had I have a Jimmy Carter bobblehead, I think. And I have one of those Barack Obama commemorative plates because he was the first black president. But I never worshiped Obama. I never worshiped Joe Biden. And even though I think Jimmy Carter hung the moon, I don't worship him either. You know, it's like I've never understood worshiping a president. Worshiping a leader. It makes no sense to me. You vote for people based on who you think will do the best job for the country. And if they don't do a good job, you call them out. And that's the thing. You know, I could sit here all day long and talk about my favorite presidents. You know, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. I could talk about them all day long. But I don't worship Bill Clinton or Barack Obama. And I've never understood the desire to. You're never going to see me decked out in gear from top to bottom. You know, a Bill Clinton bandana on his face here and Obama on my pants. It's weird, okay? Actually, I don't even know if weird is the right word because there's good weirds, but there's also just really weird weirds, and that's what this is. And the people today that's lined up, yeah, man, I'd rather have Trump as my king. It's not American, okay? You can believe that. You can hope he's the king. You can want him to be the king. You can bow your knee to him today if you want to, and you can give his ring a big old smooch if you want to. But I will be damned if I ever do. And because I know what this country was supposed to be about, and I know what we are, and I'm not going to worship anybody. And I would be saying the same thing today if Joe Biden was having some big military parade and flexing on this day. And I would be calling people out if they was, putting Joe Biden's head on, He-Man's body and, by the power of Grayskull and all this bullshit. I would be calling it out because that's not normal and it never will be. So again, wherever you go to protest, I'm heading out here shortly. I'll take some pics along the way. Let y'all know what's going on. But wherever you go, stay safe, look out for yourself, peacefully protest always, exercise your First Amendment rights. We are the party of free speech. They're the party that bows to kings, and we will be damned if we ever do.